Guten Tag, we're in Berlin. How does a street race around the defunct airport sound? Well, that's this week's automotive experience as we check out the Berlin E-Prix for race 9 and 10 of the Formula E season. I'm Anthony from Automotive Experience, and I travel the globe searching out the coolest automotive experiences, and I share them all with you. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and share this video with all your automotive friends. So let's jump in and get amongst it. Welcome to Berlin. We're here for Formula E this weekend, and this is the first time we're attending a 2-day Formula E event. This weekend's event marks the 10th anniversary of there being a race in Berlin for Formula E. This was going to be pretty cool. The Sunday race is the 20th race on the streets of Berlin, and this is all done at the Tempelhof Airport street circuit. This is quite an interesting track. It's like an old airport street circuit track, plane, runway sort of thing. So it's going to be super fascinating to check out. The track this year is a little bit different. It's 2.585 kilometers, 15 turns. In the past, they run different layouts for the track. This one is slightly different. We'll find out when we get there exactly what has changed, but let's get amongst it and head to the track. So there's many ways to get out to the track here. We are jumping on the Lime scooter. For this particular event, we're staying in Tempelhof, which is, I'm gonna guess, probably about a 5 to 10 minute scooter ride, or probably about a half an hour walk. But if you are staying in the city, it's a 20 to 30 minute ride on the subway, or I mean, you can jump on a bike. There's plenty of bikes and stuff. One of the most exciting things about coming to a new racetrack is definitely discovering how to get there, how to get in, where it is. It's always fun. Entrance, Fan Village. So this is the track. So they've actually changed this top part coming into the main straight. This weekend, we are in stands B1 or C1, one of the two. We're on the main straight, I think, this time. So we're gonna mix it up a bit. So this airport basically closed in 2008, which is quite interesting. You can see the old disused railway lines, which probably used to service a lot of the areas around the airport. Quite interesting. It's almost like we're going on a bit of a historical tour. I mean, have a look at how wild this is. That's obviously a runway. So basically it looks like this is the old terminal that swooped around. And then you would have the planes that would taxi along here. Basically, this sign talks about wind sport areas. Kite landboarding and kite buggying are permitted. Wow. Now, if you recall from our last Formula E adventures in Japan, the Fan Village area is open to fans for free. It's just until you go into the other part where the grandstands are that you need a ticket. Time to zigzag again. We are in very similar fashion to Tokyo, we got ourselves a cup. So this seems to be I guess a thing with Formula E. They give out these cups and they're probably used for beer and stuff here. Okay, time to explore the fan zone here now. But here we have the Nissan. And they're spotting that same livery we saw in Tokyo with the cherry blossoms. Next up, Saudi. So I found these cool little things. It's a Saudi passport. So basically what we got here is travel around to the different modules, collect the stamps, and once you collect them, you get a nice passport cover. So it looks like there's the regenerate one. And then we got energize your race. Oh, what's this one? So you jump on this thing and you make the car go around the track. That's wild. Talk about getting some exercise. Alright, we're gonna give this thing a go.
Oh. 18.8 seconds, and after that you can see your stats. You produce energy. You could light a light bulb for 42 seconds with what you just did.
Yeah, there we go. We can Traveling in an electric car for 36 centimeters after that. 3 out of 5 next up. Regenerate. So we just found out, QR code on the back. You can do this one on your phone. Oh, for a mobile game. It's all happening in here now though. Okay. There we go. Thank you very much. Alright, we have one to go, but it's the one that's not working. So it looks like we're going to have to come back later or something. Because it's out of action, we've got our passport. Look at that, that's pretty cool. Yeah, buddy. Formula E Saudi. Now, it's time to travel through the eras of Formula E. First gen cars, max power 200 kilowatt. 150 kilowatt during the race, 28-hour battery pack, and a top speed of 225 kilometers an hour. Pretty interesting stuff. They've definitely come a long way, as has the development of EV cars, especially when we look at the Gen 2 cars, which is just behind us here. In my opinion, it was definitely this generation, Gen 2, that put Formula E on the map. They increased the power. They had 250 kilowatt max, 200 race, and just the look of them, they looked killer. And now, moving on to Gen 3, 38.5 kilowatt battery hour pack, 350 kilowatt, and they look absolutely killer, don't they? So they've come a long way, the technology has come a long way, and the Gen 3 Evo that's coming out too is even crazier. I think it's like 0 to 100 in 1.8 seconds. So there we have it, the 3 generations of Formula E. And up in here, they've got the whole sort of 10 seasons at Berlin. We are 15 minutes away from the first session. Well, second session, first qualifying session. We're basically here. So we've come in and we've walked all the way around here. So we are down in here. So let's go check out our grandstand seats. It's actually a pretty good idea to give out cups. People don't need to bring in bottles. Probably less wastage because people are going to keep them. Bit of a souvenir cup. Okay, here we are. Seat 30 on row 3. We're right out the front of the pit garage, which is time on the main straight. So a bit of a different vibe to Tokyo. I tell you what, it's definitely different seeing cars on the straight this time without the noise. Now remember in Tokyo we were at a corner where they would do the S's, and so they were already on the brakes and going through a slow part of the circuit. But here they are flat out on the straight. So as you remember from the last one, the grid is split into 2 groups of 11. The top 4 are highlighted. They're the ones that go through to the duels. But that was such an exciting thing, and I'm sure it's going to be just as exciting here. Time for the duels. Oh, time to go explore a bit more now. Let's see what else we can find here. Alright, so behind us we found Novus motorbikes. These things go 1.9 seconds, 0 to 50 kilometers an hour, 400 newton-meters of torque, top speed 130 kilometers an hour. The most important thing, the range, 135 k's. The price of these things, 18,600 euros, and they're starting delivering them next year. Behind us here, we have one of the electric E vehicles. So electric E is basically like an off-road championship of all electric cars. And this is obviously one of them. They look pretty mean. They're all a similar shape, I think, from memory. But those are pretty cool. We'll have to find one of those events to attend one day. Next up, the official tyres of Formula E. It should be cooler out here than expected. I ran back today into the hotel before I left and grabbed my jumper, and luckily I did because it's quite chilly. So I guess this is one of the food areas, and a bunch of people chilling out here eating. Oh, this is a pretty cool area in here. They call it the recharge zone. It's just on the last corner of the track. There's cheeseburgers here. €9.50 for a cheeseburger. Obviously a whole Allianz area in here. Oh, it's a people playing soccer kind of thing. They're trying to shoot and get it in those holes. Ooh, these people got no heads. These food spots in here look pretty popular. That's a Argentinian beef sandwich. Queues going on around here. This is the time for food. They've certainly got a bit of variety. Look at that, there's pretzels there. Sneaky looks behind the trees. Look at this chaos. I guess they're futuristic, aren't they? We've got this colouring wall, all the people written. Have people written some crazy stuff on it? Not really. A little bit. Maybe we gotta write something. Team Australia. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Enjoy.
I do. I guess when in Germany, you gotta get a pretzel. One interesting thing I've noticed with all bottles that I have bought so far in Germany is that they all have these lids that are like remain attached, like you don't take the bottle lid off. It's like the third or fourth one that obviously you can still pull off, but requires so much more effort. That's kind of cool. You don't lose a lid. Right, what do we have in here? Ah, all the main Formula E sims. Quite the queue to get on it too. There's some cool bean bags over here. People are passed out. I'll have a look. How very random. So we got reaction time here, and then we got the reaction time thing on the other side. And if you're feeling lazy, you can swing around in the old hammocks. Cocoon life up in here. Oh, this person's actually full wrapped up in the bloody cocoon. Now, whatever we've got over here looks pretty interesting. There's a big queue over there. We've got a cool little kart track here. Off they go. So this thing here behind me actually has a Guinness World Record. So it actually has the fastest 0 to 100 acceleration by an electric car. 0.956 seconds achieved by AMZ Racing from Switzerland. So it looks like it's purely being built for this 0 to 100. Weighs 137 kilos, top speed of 124 kilometers an hour, and it's got two 40 kilowatt front engines. Pretty hectic. Kind of reminds me of those ones we have in Australia that all the universities do. They make all these different interesting vehicles. There's another interesting vehicle. What do we got here? Check out the wing to vehicle ratio on this thing. So it's another electric vehicle with 205 kilos it weighs, and it is built for downforce. However they measure downforce, this one measures 544 N. So the Formula student team. So this does look like universities too. So we've got WHZ Racing, the Berlin Electric Academy, Formula Berlin. So I wonder if they've gone in like a competition and sort of tried to race each other with the tech from these cars. Always cool to see the university students doing things like this and building these cars. Obviously these people are probably going to be a lot of the innovators in the automotive industry in the future. So it's nice to see their work on show. I think this is a first for any motorsport track that I have been to have this in the middle of a corner. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's a plane. This is the main straight, and so that's the first corner. It's sort of like a bit of a hairpin. That plane is in the middle of the hairpin. Now, if you see the event on TV, I'm sure you see that on the telecast. Very unique, but I guess it draws in the heritage of this place, being an old airport. It's all happening. There's a basketball court. I guess it's because it's an open field. down around where the old terminal is at the track. And this is obviously where all the gates and everything used to be. For a general admission spot, this is actually quite a good area. You see them come down here into the last corner. And there's a screen, right, in front of you. We're just about to start, getting ready for the grid. Cars are just starting to roll out now. It is nearly race time. These bloody cars are disintegrating out there. There's parts there, this part went flying down over there. It's crazy. Oh. Kiwis. Doing it out here, so now for the top cars. Now it is time for the podium. I tell ya, Formula E do a pretty good podium celebration.
Welcome everyone to the 2024 Formula E Berlin E-Prix.
Oh, there we go, Berlin day one. Those podium celebrations are pretty sick. I do rate the Formula E podium, it is pretty cool. Done for another day. But this event is 2 days, so we will be back here tomorrow. Let's see how the exit of this is. Looks like most people probably take the train here from Tempelhof. But I tell you what, having an event that finishes, and it finishes into this amount of open space and land, is unreal. It literally disperses the people so well. All right, well, I think we're gonna try and jump on the bike and head back. But tomorrow is another day, and I will see you tomorrow back at the airport for another day of racing. Welcome back to day 2 here at Formula E. It is nearly qualifying time. Now we're not going to go to our grandstands just yet. We're going to go to the last corner and watch the first part there. Something different, a different spot. But what I did realise when I came in is that it's 2 separate tickets for each day. And in that, even though I booked a category B1 ticket for both days, I'm actually in a different seat today. So that's interesting. The Formula E events are almost regarded as 2 days, 2 separate days, 2 separate events, so definitely keep that in mind. So while we wait for the cars to come on track, you see behind me, this is like the main terminal building here. And the interesting thing is, this thing was sort of started construction in 1923. It was one of the 3 post-war airports around the world, the other 2 being one in London and another one in Paris. So this building behind us has quite a lot of history, and you can only imagine what it's seen over the years. Makes me wonder what they're going to do with it in the future. This is actually a pretty good spot here. Group B is now on track. I'm going to check out some more spots. If you see on the map here, so this is where we just were. We're just down around here, right? So you can walk as far as to where we were there. We see them break into these final corners. and then you can walk all the way along here to the end just there. And you can't go sort of anywhere else. And that's where that plane is. We're gonna walk along here and try and go in between these grandstands and just see what the viewing's like there. And for those intrigued about how much this weekend's costing, well, €89.50 for category B1 grandstands, which equates to about $150 a ticket a day. So one of the benefits actually of how the tickets are done, with there being two separate days, is you could basically book two grandstand tickets, different grandstands. You could be in one grandstand on one corner for one day and another grandstand for a different day. That's pretty cool. So it's now time for the jewels. We're back up in the grandstands now. Remember, that was our seat yesterday. But today, we're on row 15. But this is a sick view here because you can see right down into the first corner where the plane is. Very cool. Ready. They look pretty happy down there. Oh, there's qualifying done. Next up, it is going to be the autograph session pit walk. Okay, so it turns out we need to actually go and exchange our QR code for a pass. Would have been nice of them to actually tell us that. I don't remember seeing that anywhere, but supposedly it's over here. We have our pass. Back to the lineup, let's go. Looks like we're here with everyone else. We are on the move. Quite a hectic looking safety car. Couple more queues here now. Okay, it's go time. Well, here we are. So we've already got some guys out there signing. Get some more signing cards here. How you doing, man? Good.
You enjoying it?
I am. It's good. Thank you, sir.
As crazy as yesterday.
I know. It was good. It was good. Lines are here for Maxi Günther. Porsches are wild here. Quite fascinating. First time being in pit lane here. You see them all working on the cars. Seems to be a lot of work always happening at the front of the cars along pit lane. I'm no expert with the way these cars are set up or the engineering of them, but it's very interesting. You see the side pods, so the top of the rear of the car, and these front wings. Each team's, they got the cars all taken apart, working on them. I wonder what sort of charging apparatuses they have for these things. The biggest queue of the day has gone to a Jaguar. They're pretty popular at the moment and they're performing pretty damn well, so that's probably why. Here's the team Porsche. One of the local teams here. People absolutely frothing them, that's for sure. Nissan with that cool cherry blossom livery. And they got McLaren, their awesome livery too. And there we have it. The pit lane at Formula E. Pretty cool. So I think we ended up getting pretty much driver cards for each team. Anyway, there's the technical area. That's where they do the scrutineering, the weigh-ins and whatnot. Well, that was quite a frantic little period. It's about 35 minutes now since we went on. And so, considering the amount of people, I guess, that they do it, it's probably enough. You pretty much could have met maybe half the grid if you had to line up. Actually saw a few people giving the drivers gifts, giving them like these photo things and giving them little bracelet things and stuff like that. So, pretty interesting. It's also super cool to get up close to the Formula E cars. It's the first time that I've seen them sort of in pit lane, seen them apart. Right here is these cars. Have a look at them. And look at that black Porsche with that livery. Two very nice cars. I love the mobile 50 years stuff on there. Stick it up. Looks hectic. I mean, beautiful vehicles. Wow, so I guess I should note that to do the pit walk on a single day is an extra ticket, and it's called the pole position ticket, and this is it here. And so basically what it also came with is these food and drink vouchers. So I might go eat, go use these vouchers, and then we've also got...
You doing a vlog?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
Doing a vlog.
Hello guys. Yeah. We are from the Sport. We are here at Formula E. Yeah. We are staff members, so enjoy the race. Have fun.
Thank you. Will do.
Yeah.
Have a good one. There we go. Some friendly staff here at the events. Always good to see. Oh, she's pretty packed over here.
Die stehen hier schon direkt neben der Bühne und deswegen dachte ich mir, wir hypen uns noch ein bisschen.
I love a foreign place when everyone gets G'd up in their own language and I got no idea what they're saying.
Okay, also, Karl!
Thank you. Here we go. Cheers. We are set. Beef sandwich, beer, and what looks like German wrap. This is not too popular.
Jetzt haben wir die Hälfte der Frauen auch mitgemacht.
I don't know. A disco dancing up in there going wild. Cool to see though. Okay, next we're going to try and get to the gaming area. Let's see if we can use this express pass to get up and give this Formula E sim a run. So the queue here is pretty big, but they said you go to the red line. So I'm guessing that's somewhere around here. Oh, is there? Yeah. Alright. We're going. Go set me up. Alright. We're ready to go around Berlin. Well, that was a bit difficult. These cars have got some interesting braking up on here. Let's see how these guys go. I tell you what, I kept going too much speed into it all and we ended up not doing too great, but that was fun. That was fun nonetheless. All happening down on the grid now. We're not too long away from the race. We can basically see the whole grid here. All the way down to the end, all the way up. We go. And they're away. Oh, that was a crazy start. There we go, first lap. Craziness out here. Final lap. Well, Da Costa, Porsche win on home soil, I guess. So down here we got the post-race interviews happening. We've got a lot of people all leaving the grandstands, and look at the amount of people down there at the podium. It's insane. The park out here. Look at all the people down there. You got kites, and this up here really shows you how far it is. Like, I don't know if you can see that, if that gives perspective, but it's a big park here. And then we get a great view of the whole place here. So we made our way to the podium, and this was one of the more unique ways for drivers to get to the podium, through this like catwalk through the crowd, which is a pretty cool experience for both driver and fan. There we have it. Berlin Formula E, our first two-day Formula E event. Now, how did that rate compare to Japan? Well, this event's been 10 years, it's its 10th time, and Japan was its first. And to be honest, they're pretty similar. I like the single day event where, like, whether you come one day or the other day, it doesn't really, like, you don't miss out anything from not having attended the previous day. I do kind of like that aspect. I think out of all the racing events I've been to, I think just given how Formula One is with podiums, you can only really see it if you're in a grandstand in front of it. So I must say, Formula E do an amazing job with the way they do their podiums. It's an atmosphere in there when you're in amongst it at the end of it. I mean, because of where it's positioned, everyone goes there. So the crowd is there, everyone's pumping, the music's pumping. That walkway they've got to the stage, that's fantastic as well. Imagine if that was last week in Miami. Wow. Overall thing on it, they probably need a few more bathrooms at times in there, but it's not too big, too crazy. But some of the lines for toilets were pretty out of control. Food was alright. There's a bit of variety. The queues weren't too long. It's about $8 a beer, and it's about $13 to $16 for food. So pretty reasonably priced considering, I'd say it's a pretty cool event. And the fact that when you come out of the event, you're out here in like Berlin's biggest playground or whatever you want to call it. That is it for our adventures here at the Formula E at Berlin, and that's our end of our Formula E adventures for this season. So we had 2 races in the calendar and that's them both ticked off. Next week we are at Imola, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a much more traditional F1 race, a traditional track, and the surroundings are going to be amazing in Bologna. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you like and subscribe, because we're going everywhere this year. And I want you to ride shotgun with me on our next automotive experience. See you next week from Italy.